Are men embarrassed to admit they need her income?
I don't think that they're embarrassed. I think that they right on code. These new men, like they ready to tell you how much can do you have because I need some help around here. Every man that I've met, they'll tell me ain't nothing free. Like if you're sitting at home, what are you gonna be doing? So they definitely looking and are not ashamed to say that they need that additional income.
All right. What about you, Ash?
Um, I say yeah, they are. I don't necessarily think that men come out and just would say, "Hey, I'm going through financial struggles." I think that has a lot to do with the ego and the pressure that the world places on men. That they have to come like be financially stable, they have to make a certain amount, and that they is frowned upon to kind of like ask your woman for money. I do hear a lot of men saying like when they do that, like bring it up to their women or women in general, they kind
Dang.
of bias a little bit.
Hey man, that smoke detector's calling you right now. You need to answer.
What about you, Callie? Same question. Are men embarrassed to admit they need her income?
I don't think it's more. Yeah, I would say that it would be embarrassment. Because men are looked at as like, they got to get it all together. And to ask help, especially from a woman, they don't want to do that. They want to go ahead and provide. They want to go ahead and be on this. I got it. I can do this. I can do this by myself. I got this. I got this. So to answer your question in short form, yes. But I will add to that it is not. There is nothing wrong with turning to your partner and say, "Hey, baby, like I'm gonna need a little bit of help today." You know what I mean? Actually, I feel like it brings you more closer together in doing so.
So here's a question. Because obviously we're much older, seasoned individuals. For our young people who are coming out of high school and either going into the armed forces or trade school or college or even trying to start their own business once they got out of high school, there's a little bit of time that goes by in terms of maturity growth, in terms of learning, in terms of life experience, in a slew of other things. I think it takes time for them to kind of build up to that mentality, to kind of be in a sort of financial parse situation, or even start earning the type of money to be in a position where they can cover a majority of the bills. Right. I don't think a lot of young people coming out of these different institutions or just coming out of high school are in a position, or I don't even think a lot of them even have the necessary life skills. Let's start right there to, you know, to succeed like that. I mean, I think a lot of them are figuring it out as they go.
All right. What about you, Miss Britt? Are men embarrassed to admit that they need our income?
Yeah, I agree. I think they have a lot of pride and ego because of the pressure that society, I think Callie said it, because of the pressure of society to be that person providing everything. And men really don't have that opportunity to be vulnerable. It's always like toughen up, take care of it, handle it. So I think when it comes down to that, their pride and their ego and just life in general from their upbringing teaches them to just carry the weight and not ask for help and not cry and not express, weakness.
Okay. Does her money become the elephant in the room? Does her money become the elephant in the room? You guys know what the elephant in the room means?
Yeah, like that black sheet kind of deal where it's like, oh, you're making all this money, et cetera, et cetera. Is that what you're talking about?
The elephant in the room is it's a metaphor, like important, a controversial um, issue that people are avoiding discussing or acknowledging.
I don't think for most men, no. I mean, you definitely have that minority of men that might feel some type of way. That's with anything. But for most men, I don't think they're going to be like, oh, she makes more than me. Oh, God. damn, you know what I mean? Like, I think if anything, they'll be like, okay, great. Like, she's doing great. Like, most men would look at it and be like, okay, cool. Now she's going up. Now what can I do to help contribute, or whatever the case may be? But I don't think they're hating on their spouse for making more than them. I don't believe that, especially because if you love them. So if anything, it might motivate them to want to up their game or whatever the case may be. But that's about it.
Ash and Aisha, a woman's money matters more today because too many households can't survive on a man's income alone. How you feeling about that? A woman's money matters more today because too many households can't survive on a man's income alone.
I think that that's kind of an excuse. I think that although it sounds very good, but just from a marriage standpoint, when a man asks you to be his wife, I just feel like as a woman, you're supposed to, whatever he can afford to get you, that's supposed to be enough. And that's supposed to be enough for him. So if he has a house that's $200,000 a year and that's his house, that's supposed to be enough. You're not supposed to then go out and get a $500,000 house because you have an income. I think that money, just like I think Hank said, it goes into the pot. I think we're trying to have a relationship, but we're thinking as individualists. And I feel like if we're thinking at the beginning from a family standpoint, that money is just one pot. Whatever that husband has when you get him, whatever that house is, that's y'all's. That's what y'all got. And you're supposed to live comfortably under that. And he's supposed to live comfortably under that. He's supposed to create that lifestyle that's comfortable, whether you bringing a family in or not. I don't think that a woman is supposed to incur all of these expenses that are supposed to be so huge. You know what I'm saying? That you even need that. Whatever she brings, it's an addition. It's an addition to whatever that man has already sustained. So I just look at everything from a whole different standpoint, because I do think that the money should go into one pot. That's it. That's all. It shouldn't be no his money, her money, how much she bringing. It's one. We together now. She got 60,000. I got 100K. We now 160. Period. What can we afford under this umbrella together that we're comfortable with? That's just how I look at it.
Period.
I don't think that a man should be like, oh, I'm marrying this lady because she's finna add. It's just all one pot. It's all one pot.
So, Aisha, let me ask you a question to further qualify that. We've done a round robin of all the men and their responsibilities and the things that they're doing in order to provide, how they to provide, and the mindset behind it. But are women really shown or taught or had conversations about having the type of mindset or thinking that you just provided right now? What percentage of women are thinking the way that you're thinking right now?
I think the percentage of women that think the way I think are women that actually want to be married and in successful relationships.
That part.
And that percentage, to me personally, is small. Like, I feel like women say that they want to be in successful relationships, but they don't. They don't want to be in marriages. They want to have a partnership, right? You want a roommate. You know what I'm saying? If I'm looking for somebody to pay my bills, I'm going to go get a roommate. I'm not going to get a husband for that. And I feel like people keep conflating the two because they watching social media and they see these power couples. And so they envision their life around these power couples. We can be a power couple. We can get together and do all of these things, but it's like, that's really not real.
That's bullshit.
That's not even really a real thing to me. So I feel like those are two individuals. So that's a partnership. A marriage can have a partnership quality, but that's not the foundation of it. The foundation of a marriage is to have a family. It's not a business. And a lot of society looks at it that way, and that's what we fall short. And that makes people happy. It makes people happy to feel that way, to think that way, right? It makes women feel empowered to, you know what I'm saying, be able to be like, I'm 6 figures. Great. Now I'm a better woman. And I don't base the quality of who I am on that, on my degree on the wall. That's not the quality of a woman. That's not how I base myself. So I don't want to choose a man that's valuing those things either. That's just where I stand.
All right.